This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Today we're dealing with a Bosch dishwasher that won't drain, and we're going to go over some of the things you can check. So first I'm pulling up the lower spray arm, just pull straight up, pulling up the filter. I turn it about halfway, and then I can pull out the different parts of the filter. And then looking down inside the sump, we have water in there, which is normal, but it looks dark, and the bottom of the sump should be a white color, white plastic. We're seeing some dark stuff, so using the turkey baster I got the water out, and I'm finding looks like little pieces of wood, but I think they're cinnamon sticks. And there were enough of them in there where they were probably blocking the water flow. So I'm using a Torx 15 driver to take out a Torx 15 screw, then I'll pull up on this white panel right here. This protects the impeller. So just lift up, pull it, just pull it towards you. Okay, and then I'm just going to reach in and work with moving the impeller in both directions. And it seems like it's moving freely. It should have a little bit of resistance because there's a magnet that turns it, but there's nothing obstructing it. You might find, though, that there's something like a little piece of glass that gets caught underneath the impeller, and you can just pull that out with a pair of tweezers. I am finding a lot of this little chunks of wood, though, that were blocking the part that they call the dam, and the dam just keeps big things from coming in and hitting the impeller. But if enough stuff gets in there, it can block the water flow to a point where it'll drain very slowly or maybe not drain at all. So I'm still just getting more and more of these little wood fragments, which are probably cinnamon sticks. And once I get those all out, I'll also take my needle nose pliers and pull up on the one-way rubber valve here, and I just want to make sure it's okay. I'm going to clean it up. Looks pretty good. If that thing couldn't move freely, that would also prevent water from being able to leave the dishwasher, but this one's doing great. So I think probably the food just didn't get rinsed enough, and some things got past the filter and just clogged that sump area. So this is things you can do to clear the sump, and most likely this will get your dishwasher draining again. Also found on this dishwasher that up at the air gap where the drain tube goes into the air gap underneath the sink, it was also blocked by debris, so we had to clean that out too. So I'm just cleaning up these parts. The air gap is that little silver thing over by the kitchen faucet. That's a common place where things get caught and then it won't drain. So I'm just going to put that white panel back in, push in the bottom part and then push it down. Then I'll put in the Torx 15 screw to hold it in. There we go. And now I'm just cleaning the filters too. These were not terribly dirty, but theoretically, if these were dirty enough, it could limit how fast the water can drain, but I don't think it would prevent it from draining. The main thing that was probably preventing the dishwasher from draining was the debris caught in the air gap, because the water can't leave the drain tube and go to the garbage disposer until you clear that. And again, I just took the drain tube off of the air gap underneath the sink and found a little piece of probably cinnamon stick. So I'm just doing some preventative work here, just cleaning these pieces, and then I'll snap the inner filter back into the outer filter. We'll put these pieces back in. I'm going to clean this one too. These two could do a little bit of cleaning, wouldn't hurt. So it is wise when you're doing the dishes to rinse off all food particles before you load them, especially with the Bosch dishwashers and the Miele dishwashers, because they don't do well with food debris. A little bit of spaghetti sauce or things like that would be fine, but you don't want little chunks of things. That causes trouble. So we're putting this filter in, put the main piece in, put this one back in, and then turn it till it locks. Got to make sure that locks. Put the bottom arm back in, and then we'll take it for a test. And after we cleared that air gap, it did great. We're just going to do a rinse and hold. So thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe to our channel when you get a chance.